This is a paddle for which I have caretakership. It doesn't actually belong to me. It was loaned to me in good faith, and it's been part of the encampment at Thomas Square, which is a part of the Occupy movement, or de-occupy in this case, Honolulu. And basically this paddle represents Kanawai Malahoi, or the law of the splintered paddle, which says that everyone has the right to lay in safety by the roadside. And it's a very serious law that was enacted by Kamehameha I. It says that everyone has this right to lay in safety by the roadside without threat of harm. We definitely don't want to see any people harmed, and at the same time, if the government itself is not a person but essentially acting as a corporation, then, you know, it, according to Kanawai Malahoi, dies. There are no reasons whatsoever for anyone to follow the laws of a dead government. Now, you know, we all know that the government that's here is illegal in the first place. Hawaii was never annexed in any legal manner. Statehood never happened in any legal manner. The entire thing has been a big scam, quite honestly, from the beginning. But we are living in the realities of colonization and occupation. You know, we've been living that inside of that for all of our lives, you know, for all of us who are alive today. At this point, in order to hold on to the legitimate sovereignty that we each have inside of us, we need to assert it, and we need to make sure that it doesn't die. At this point, we've come to the point where it's an either or situation, unfortunately. Either we stay alive, you know, because ea, the word for sovereignty, also means life. It also means breath. We either hold on to that ea and keep it alive, or everyone's gonna go, because it's that point, not only for us but for humanity, that we've reached. And at this point, the illegitimate government needs to make a very serious choice about whether it's going to even continue, even in its illegitimacy. Because we have to remember, we the people need to remember, that we are allowing it to continue. As hard as that may be for us to understand, we are participating. And while I do encourage people to participate in protecting their own rights, you know, and in assuring the well-being of all people and the Aina, at the same time, we need to recognize that if we're participating in our own oppression, we're gonna have to take responsibility for that. So that's why we're here, because this paddle right here was tagged by the City and County of Honolulu as part of Ordinance 11-029, which, you know, was formerly known as Bill 54, which basically takes away from the houseless, anyone who attempts to lay in safety by the roadside, which are the specific people who are supposed to be protected under Kanawai Malahoi, which the state has enshrined in its own constitution as well. So we're here to basically see whether there can be some peaceful solution that can be worked out. You know, perhaps the City and County of Honolulu is willing to be reasonable in this case and to leave the people alone who are exercising their right to free speech and to say what is good for all people. If not, then the Kanawai needs to be followed. Hewa no make. That applies to this illegitimate government if that is the case, if it proves itself to be illegitimate on that level. I am not letting go of this paddle, and I intend to return to Thomas Square right after this. Are you Wes?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Laulani.
Hi.
Oh, thank you very much. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. So you came here this morning for what
Yes.
purpose?
Yeah. So this is a paddle which was loaned to me. It's loaned by an educational organization for, that works with Hawaiian culture.
You're Lao.
My name is Laulani Teal.
Laulani.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So, as you know, under Ordinance 11-029, items that are being used in protest at Thomas Square have been tagged. And so this is one of the items. This is a splintered paddle. I don't know if you're familiar with the law of the splintered paddle, Kanabai Mamalahoi?
Somewhat, but not too.
Okay, so just to give you a general idea, Kanabai Mamalahoi was a law, it was the first law of the Hawaiian Kingdom that was basically promulgated by Kamehameha I when he said that basically every man, woman, and child has the right to lay in safety by...
Hi, did you need me? I'm in another meeting. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is about Godsby. He's the corporation counsel.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, my name is Laulani Teal.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm here to discuss.
He's in another meeting. So
Oh, I'm so sorry, but basically, this is a paddle. It belongs to an educational organization, but it was loaned to me for use at the Occupy Honolulu encampment. It was tagged under Ordinance 11-029. I'm trying to see if there can be a peaceful solution out of this. I intend
But
to
you
return.
understand you can keep your paddle.
Yeah,
can keep
but I'm returning to Thomas Square right after this. The time that's tagged here is 8:50 a.m. The purpose of this paddle is to symbolize the protection of all people.
And you can keep the paddle.
Right, but everyone else needs to be protected as well. So if people are going to remove, you're saying that they're not going to take it from me when
But
I return there?
You can keep any signage, any of your First Amendment rights are protected. We encourage you to exercise your First Amendment. We just can't have other property stored there.
So what
tents-
constitutes a sign?
Your paddle's sufficient, symbolic things that people want to use that are part of their free expression.
Well, the tents in this case are symbolic as part of the Occupy
We don't
movement.
agree. They also serve another purpose, and that's for people to store personal property, and that's what we can't have. So it's a matter of common sense, just using judgment, and that's what we'll try to do. But you can't claim that everything involved in water coolers and all of the personal property that's stored there doesn't have an expressive content. The broken paddle certainly
So you're
does.
saying that if something has an expressive content, it'll be left alone?
People can have their signs there. Their tents are personal property and will have to go. But they can move them other places. Just
What-
not public property.
I'm so sorry, Bob. I'm still confused on what constitutes expressive content.
I understand the confusion, but the signs are fine. People that want to carry signs are fine. And I can't really discuss without being there what the other things may be. And there are other attorneys who will be on the site, you can talk with them,
be
and
there
they'll
this
be there,
morning.
and you can go through and you can talk about specific instances as they arise.
Okay. You do understand for Kanawai
I do.
Mamalahoi that that the law of the splintered paddle is very serious.
I understand.
Yeah, and that it is part of the state constitution as
Absolutely, I
well.
understand that as well.
Okay, because I don't think that the goal here is to separate protesters from houseless. The whole point is that people's rights, whether they be people trying to exercise First Amendment rights, as part of a protest, or whether they be houseless people who have nowhere to go because of the way that they've been pushed around. one way or another, their rights are protected by Kanawai Mamalahoi, by the law of the splintered paddle.
Many of their rights are, yes, but we may disagree over the scope of those rights. Also, there is housing available for the homeless. We would not be
Are you
acting
referring
if
to
there
the
were-
shelters?
Yes, I am.
But the shelters themselves limit people's rights. They have to agree to things that they may be ethically against. What I'm saying is that they may, if they choose to uphold their their personal sovereignty, they may not have a realistic choice.
Well, I'm not sure that I agree with you at this time about that, but that's a different issue. What we're dealing with is simply stored property on public property.
Right.
And that's the, and I
they-
understand there are many policy implications beyond that, but we're focused on a much more narrow issue today. So there'll be lawyers out there that can help you and that you can talk to, and you can raise specific questions with regard to specific instances instead of having a more abstract discussion.
When we're out there today, I can point you to those individuals.
But I have,
Okay, are
I've
you
already,
coming?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, okay,
You've
okay,
got-
yeah, I
We
appreciate
have a
that.
lot of attention from the top folks in the administration. We're trying very hard to be sensitive to the issues that you raise.
You do understand also that in the area in question, there is no signage saying that that is part of the park. That cement area, there's nothing that says that it's part of the park. From what I read on the map, it doesn't show that whatsoever. The only thing that we have, what is there to prove that the city and county's lease extends to, from the state, on crown lands?
That's, again, that's a different discussion.
How-
We even had a survey team go out and survey that based upon the property records.
Right.
So we've tried very diligently to honor all of the issues that you raise, although you must understand we respectfully disagree with you on some of them.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I've already 15 minutes late for another
Okay,
meeting,
well,
so have to
I
head
do
now.
appreciate it. I do, one last thing is that I very much encourage you to uphold the public trust, the basically, that because it's a lease from the state, the sacred trust doesn't go away.
We're
And
very
that,
well-
that
we're very
means
well
that the,
aware of the sacred trust. We try hard to uphold it. We're also aware of our obligation to the broader community, and you must understand that there are differences of opinion within that community, and we're trying to respect all of those opinions as best we can. I'm sorry that we have come to some different conclusions from those that you might hold were you in the same position, but that's part of our job. Hard decisions are part of the things that we have to do.
understood, but it does say for Native Hawaiians and the general public.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that any Native Hawaiians have been consulted in this.
To leave the,
Has OHA been consulted?
Okay, I think we're okay.
we've consulted, everyone had an opportunity to comment at the council hearings. The entire public had an opportunity.
No,
not
I mean on this
specific
particular
groups.
action, because this particular action
Thank you.
pertains to a place that is very important in Hawaiian history.
We have not consulted OHA to my knowledge. Okay, I have to go now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I'll see you at council.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Aloha.
Okay, thank you.